In a picturesque town nestled amidst rolling hills, there lived an elderly man named Walter. He was known for his Sunday ritual, a practice he had maintained for as long as the townsfolk could remember. Each Sunday, like clockwork, Walter would sit on his old wooden porch, overlooking the verdant valley, with a look of bittersweet nostalgia in his eyes and a deep sense of contentment in his heart. The townspeople, both young and old, had often wondered about the story behind Walter's peculiar Sunday tradition. They marveled at his unwavering commitment to this weekly ritual. One sunny Sunday, a perceptive and curious teenager named Lily decided to approach Walter. She was determined to unearth the mystery and understand what made Walter's Sundays so special. "Mr. Walter," Lily began, "I've always wondered why you spend your Sundays here, watching the world go by. What's the story behind this tradition?" Walter's eyes sparkled with unspoken stories and a lifetime of experiences. He gave a nod and a warm smile, welcoming the opportunity to share the tale that was etched deeply into his heart. Many decades ago, Walter was a man driven by ambition and the relentless pursuit of success. He was a prosperous businessman, juggling the demands of his career with the responsibilities of a family. He was married to a kind and gentle woman named Grace, and they had a bright-eyed daughter named Emily. Life was a whirlwind of business meetings, deals, and endless work. One sunny Sunday, a day not unlike the one when Walter was sharing his story with Lily, Grace had a simple but profound idea. She wanted to have a family picnic in the meadow just a short drive from their home. The weather was perfect, the basket of sandwiches was ready, and Emily's eyes were sparkling with excitement. Grace urged Walter to put aside his work, if only for a few hours, and join them in this simple joy. Walter, however, was consumed by his professional pursuits. He was locked in a complex negotiation that he believed could elevate his career to new heights. The promise of success seemed too close, and he couldn't fathom letting it slip through his fingers. With a heavy heart, he declined Grace's invitation, promising that he would make it up to them later. In his mind, he had every intention to do so, but later never came. That very evening, as the sun began to set on the same picturesque town where they lived, tragedy struck. Grace and Emily were involved in a car accident. The crash was sudden, and the impact was devastating. Walter, miles away in his office, received the call that would shatter his world forever. Grace was gone, her life cut short in the blink of an eye. And Emily, their vibrant and joyous daughter, was left in a fragile state, her childhood forever altered. Walter was consumed by guilt and a profound sense of regret. He realized, far too late, the immeasurable value of the time he had frittered away, chasing a mirage of success and missing out on the beauty of the simple moments that had been offered to him. As Walter shared this heart-wrenching chapter of his life with Lily, the story hung heavily in the air, evoking a mix of emotions from the townspeople who had gathered to listen. There was a collective silence, a shared sense of empathy for Walter's pain, and a realization that time, once lost, could never be reclaimed. Lily, deeply moved by the poignant tale, felt her eyes moisten with unshed tears. She, like so many others in the town, had her own share of busy days, and Walter's story was a haunting reminder of the moments she might be overlooking. She couldn't help but think of the times when she had hurried through life, striving for distant goals, while the present moments with her own family slipped away. Lily decided to honor Walter's story by making a commitment to change her own path. She vowed to cherish every moment she had with her family, to never take a single second for granted. She saw the need for change not only in her own life but in the town's culture as well. Walter, watching this transformation from the sidelines, found solace in the knowledge that his painful experience had sparked a positive change that would ripple through the generations. He began to experience closure, an easing of the guilt that had haunted him for so long. On his very last Sunday, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the entire town gathered around Walter's porch. It was a poignant moment that had been decades in the making. Walter, with a serene smile on his face, looked out at the faces of the townsfolk who had become like family. He knew he was leaving behind a legacy of love and togetherness. But Walter wasn't finished with his tale, he continued. There's more to the story, Lily. After the accident, my daughter Emily, she blamed me. She couldn't understand why I hadn't been there with them, and she felt abandoned. She left without a word, and I never saw her again. The added layer of sadness settled upon the townsfolk like a heavy fog, thick with regret and lost opportunities. Walter had carried the burden of not only losing his wife but also being abandoned by his own daughter. The weight of the story was almost unbearable, and many in the crowd couldn't hold back their tears. Walter had one more thing to say. With great effort, he whispered his final words to the members gathered around. Tell Emily, tell her I'm sorry, tell her I love her, always. Years later, it was Lily who stood before a new generation of townsfolk, sharing Walter's story as he had shared it with her. She concluded with a quote that had become a mantra in Serenity Falls, a testament to the enduring power of one man's life and the profound impact he had on a community.
In the end, it's not the time we have that matters, it's what we do with the time we're given. Cherish each moment, for it's in those moments that life's true beauty is found.
And so, the story of The Last Sunday lived on, a poignant reminder for all, that time is a fragile gift, and its true worth is revealed in the moments we choose to spend with those we hold dear. If you enjoyed this short story of Mr. Walter, I suggest you to subscribe to my channel, also share this video with your friends.